Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and Commander. Welcome back to a chilling session. But actually, I just realized chilling can be like scary. So chilling might not be the right word, but a chill session of the conclusions. So I think today will be a short one because I think so. That's all. That's So one of the major things that happened, on the past day on the on the 8th of Sep, is actually the capture of Vuhledar, and the information comes out from the Ukrainian side, and this has not been acknowledged, at least from the last point where I'm do the mapping. This is purely on the Ukrainian information that the Russian forces have taken Vuhledar. So this is a very, very huge development because I have never, I really didn't manage to imagine how Russia could ever take Vuhledar. Like, I think that it will always take a very, very long time to reach there. Surprisingly, this is now reality. For those that have followed DPA for a long time, you probably would have remembered the time where Vuhledar is a very far away place. Like, the front line was like near to Solotke. Like, we are still fighting, not we are still fighting, they are still fighting, in the Novomihai, like Slavne, Stepne, Solotke, they just barely reaching Novomihайлivka. Vuhledar is just so damn far away. So, and this just is so weird. And the fact that Vuhledar has fallen means that Vuhledar is now in deep shit. Because how are they going to get resupplies? Let's see if we can see some roads. There's a short road here, the dirt road, and then another one come down here. This one is gone because the Russians are already here. So, and the Russians are already this close, so this other road also cannot be used. And the Russians have just, based on today's information, have started to attack from Palivka northward, which means that they will also cut off the other road if they continue to move northward. And everything else, of course, is just farmlands. They can use the dirt roads. But if the Russians continue to push north from Palivka, and they do this, they don't even have to storm Vuhledar itself. This would operational encircle Vuhledar. Vuhledar is now a sitting duck. It quacks. And so never expected a fortress to ever quack. It's a weird thing, But we are living in weird times. It's 2024. If a fortress want to identify as a duck, what can you say? They can go to a duck-gendered toilet. Although how a city go to toilet, remains to be seen. But no shit is everywhere. Going to toilets is a totally sensible thing to do. So anyway, this is the situation over here. This is the biggest news, I would say, over the 24 hours, in the past day, put it that way. So that is what it is. So that is the most significant one. Other things that I would say is pretty significant, I would say, is the situation at Torex, where the Russian forces seems to have gained the fortress. Rather not fortress, but it's actually a prison. Yeah, so this prison, I'm not sure if it's like you can really use it as a fortress or not. Typically, the prisons face inwards, the walls face inwards. But yeah, it's abundant. Perhaps Russian claims it. I personally don't think, like, my captured mapping is only here. This part is the prison. To me, it's just a claim, because who knows, there might be a serious battle inside. Who knows what kind of experiment the Ukrainians did. Maybe there's some kind of super villain inside which they might accidentally unleash, and then wreak havoc and become the worst disaster than the Chernobyl, where there's this crazy mythical monster with demonic powers ravaging Donbass. If you are Russian, just be careful. Please don't anyhow unleash any crazy things out from that prison. Who knows what's inside? And then, otherwise, the Russians do claim that they have straightened this line, which makes perfect sense around Nelipivka. The fighting, of course, is still being reported in Nelipivka, but somehow the Ukrainian Defense Ministry still want to say New York. So I do not know where the Ukrainians are in New York per se. So yeah, it is what it is. Otherwise, Bakhmut situation with all these far away villagers being mentioned, remains the same. What we do have, of course, is the return of Zelensky again in the report. The last report was on the 4th. The Russians keep flirting with us about Zelensky, but nothing ever seems to happen. So let's wait. Like you see, if you look at the fortress now, this is the updated, fortification mapping. You can see that it don't make sense to go through directly to Kramatorsk or going through Chasivia. It just don't make sense. The Russians should go this way up, take right Alexandrivka, and collapse the Sivas front. This is something that I've mentioned more than a year ago now. Still have not happened because the Russians seems to be on operation to simply keep the front line as long as possible and to make it really, really difficult for the Ukrainians to resupply and to resupply, reinforce, and maintain some kind of a coherent fighting force. When your front line is so long, it's very hard to organize your forces, and that's what the Russians are trying to do to stretch the limited resources of the Ukrainians. And there is already rumors about rumors, I cannot confirm, rumors that this month the Ukrainians would struggle to pay the salary of their military. And so I checked with my source. For the foreign fighters, it seems like maybe it's just going to be the combat pay. The regular salary still seems to be going to continue, but it's hard to say. But the main problem would be that if the payment stop, the salary stops, the Ukrainian troops themselves may lose a lot of motivation to fight. The mercenaries themselves, the foreign fighters, they would just choose not to fight. So they may still remain in Ukraine, and they will still likely to continue to just wait. Who knows that Ukraine might suddenly get more money because maybe Kamala Harris become US president. Hard to say, right? This kind of thing. And so they will wait, but they will not participate in any combat operations. And this on compounding on what the Ukrainian regular troops, if they do not have salary, they may not want to fight also. They may just abandon positions. All this comes together, we'll probably see a faster collapse of front lines if the salary issue is not resolved. But of course, at this moment, these are just rhetorics. We still do not know if they have a salary or monetary problem at this moment. Clearly, they have economic problems. They don't have enough money. They are funded largely by foreign fundings. But whether they can pay the soldiers or not, that we do not know. There's still rumors at this moment. So I've checked my sources, so I kind of get the sense that the front fighters will not leave Ukraine yet. And I think they will stay even without salary for a long time, but they will not fight. So it is a problem, right? If they don't fight. So we shall see how this develop. It's very expensive to run a military operation, especially to run a military as big as one that can deal with the Russian military, where they are roughly maybe 500,000 to 800,000 strong, in and around Ukraine, within the special military operations zone, as well as the fighting in the Kursk and Sumy, Belgorod, Bryansk region. So the Ukrainians really need a lot. Tentatively, as the best guess at places is only 1-to-1 ratio, in terms of the frontline manpower. My own guess, my own estimate. So there's no facts on that. That's just my guess. My guess. So that's what it is. So that is some major serious problem the Ukrainians are facing. So yeah, I said I checked with my source on the ground. So yeah, he doesn't seem to feel like it's a big problem. So he feel that the money will flow, and yeah. So let's see how this goes. On Kharkiv region, the Russians seems to be flirting a bit more with fighting reported at Okremivka. There's also fighting reported at Hotivka, as well as some shelling or maybe attack over at Sornivka. And if you look from this area here, usually it's only Sinkivka and Voschansk and maybe Starisya. This time around, we have some additional directions. And but of course, this additional ones may not be offensive. This could be just be probing. This could be just fire attacks. So don't jump to conclusion yet. I think this is still early days. But we just have to continue to wait. And somehow I felt like this is a battle between Belgorod and Kharkiv, like the two kingdoms of ancient times, and they were brothers, and now they go into war. The kingdom of Belgorod versus the kingdom of Kharkiv. Yeah, it feels like it, And who is winning? I'm not sure. Belgorod and Kharkiv. Yeah, so it is what it is. And then this was trying to go for Kursk. It's so far away. So yeah, yeah. So Sumi is trying to go for Kursk. Very greedy. Don't be so greedy, or you'll be like me, getting fatter and fatter. So over at the Kursk region, strategically, situation didn't really change much, except that we do have a geolocation of Ukrainian forces in Krasno-Otybrskoye, which confirms the Ukrainian capture of this position. And actually, I should put this into a flag. So Ukrainian forces captured Krasno-Otybrskoye. So this is it 9. So let's give the flag to the Ukrainians, because times are sad. It's really hard times. Maybe there will be no more salary for the troops. So let's give them the flag, because they earn it, because the geolocation proves that they are there. So let's give them the flag. And however, the situation remains really difficult. Somehow the fighting is reported in the Snagorsk region, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. In their mapping, the Russian mapping seems to draw it in a northward direction. So the Ukrainians are pushing northward. I feel like this is more likely to be the Russians are pushing southward. Like, I feel like the reality is actually the Russians are pushing southward, and the Ukrainians are trying to meet them, try to prevent the Russian push towards Snagorsk. That's the feeling I get. It doesn't make sense for the Ukrainians to push northward. For me, I feel. But let's wait and see how this develops. The situation in the Kursk. The northern flank, there is some correction of Frontline. Of course, the most significant is not this. It's not the possible Russian presence in Malaya Lognia. This is not important, actually. The important thing is actually the Ukrainians may still actually be in this entire big gray zone in the countryside. This seems to be pointed by this geolocation of a Russian airstrike on Ukrainian alleged drone operation in this region here. There's this tree line where they detected Ukrainian drone operators. I saw the video. It's quite tragic, because 2 massive bombs exploded along the tree line. But this important thing to note is that which means that the Ukrainians are still holding positions, because if there are drone operators here, that means there is combat troops nearby protecting them, and there's assault troops, maybe armored vehicles, probably all within the forest region. So the Ukrainians are holding position in the countryside, but holding positions is a bad thing to do, because what are you going to do with this land? They are just targets, right? So and even if you hide very well, the logistics will get hit. Like when people need to resupply in terms of ammo and food, the logistics will get hit. So it's going to be a very, very challenging times for the Ukrainians. The Russians still have not met them in battle yet in this area here. So let's wait and see how these develop. But I'm glad to know that the Ukrainians are here, and then we get a little bit more clarity. But tentatively, it's still pretty much a gray zone. So otherwise, the Ukrainians are still clashing in the Pogrebki-Marevka region in a pincer style attack. But this battle haven't really sorted out. The Russians are defending this as if like it's a castle, and again this looks like a castle place. Like if you imagine this is actually a fortress complex, and then you have a crossing around here, another crossing. It does look like a very castle-ish thing. So yeah. And Ukrainian forces still located along the road, getting airstrike, but they're there. Means that the Ukrainians do have a presence around this region here. But generally, the Kursk offensive is gone. the front line is very, very stagnant. So yeah, we shall see how this continue to develop, whether the Ukrainians can, you know, continue to hold the position. And yeah, that's it. So anyway, thank you for watching. Like I mentioned, this is going to be a shorter one. Yeah, 15 minutes, just nice, no, just nice. And so thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe. If you want more information of the entire update over the past day, check out the situation report, and I'll see you guys in the next update.